Hello there and welcome. Let me start with a quick question. Have you ever settled in to create content for your business just to realize you had literally no idea what to write, post, record, etc.? Or maybe you had too many ideas, but none of them really felt quite right? Or maybe you created something, actually shared it, but then wondered if it truly helped your business at all. If any of these scenarios sound familiar, you're definitely not alone, and we're going to tackle this toughie today. But first, let me briefly introduce myself. Hi, my name is Suze. My background is in business communications, information and knowledge solutions, program and project management, and operations management. I help small businesses improve their business communications, especially their content strategy, planning, creation, and management, so that their communication is clearer, easier to create, and more effective at supporting their business goals. Okay, enough about me for the moment. Now, before we move any further, let's quickly make sure we're all moving forward with the same understanding of content. When I say content, I'm not just talking about things that you post on social media. I actually use a much broader definition. To me, content is a communications vehicle. It's what helps you move your audience from point A to point B. It's what carries and delivers information and ideas. Because communication at its core is simply the sharing or exchange of information and ideas between people. So your content might be an email, a blog post, a podcast episode, a short video, a webinar, a guide, a resource, or even a sales page. And these are just only a few of the very infinite examples. All of those are ways you communicate with your audience. And when your content is working well, it helps your audience learn, understand, trust you, and eventually take the next step with you, hopefully. Okay, moving on and diving in deeper. So, do you know where many small businesses get stuck? Well, they think their content problem is all about the ideas or time or discipline. But in reality, the issue is often something really much simpler. They don't have a content system. And without a system, content becomes random and reactive. You're constantly trying to figure out what to say next, and that can very quickly become super exhausting or overwhelming. But when you have a simple system in place, content becomes much more intentional, repeatable, and sustainable. One of the things I love most about a good content system is that it lets you zoom in and out. You can zoom out to the bigger picture, that 30,000-foot view, the why your content exists and what it's meant to accomplish view. It's the strategic view. And then you can zoom into the 3-foot view, the day-to-day work of actually creating and sharing it view, or your boots on the ground tactical view. Both views matter, and a simple system helps you move smoothly from one to the other and also see what's going on, all that operational stuff between them. So if you've been in my world for a bit, you may have heard me talk about the content through line. And this is my signature approach to content strategy, planning, creation, and management. That's part of an overall more comprehensive content system. The content through line is a path for your content to follow as it moves from that big picture phase all the way through having an actual piece of content and its long-term use. And that path has three main stages. One is the strategy and planning phase. The next is the content creation and distribution phase. And third is the management and maintenance phase. So let's walk through all of those very briefly. As we said, first is strategy and planning. And this is that zoomed out view. And this is where you clarify things like who your content is for, what problems or questions it should be helping to address, and what role your content plays in supporting your business goals. It's also where you begin to organize your content into campaigns, promotions, or content projects. For example, you might plan a campaign around launching a new service or a small project focused on helping your audience solve a common problem they're facing. This is the stage where you start mapping out the direction and the mechanics, the who, how, and when before any content is actually created. Next comes the creation and distribution. This is the zoomed in part where most people are thinking about it as doing content or creating the content. Now is when you're developing the actual pieces of content that support those campaigns, promotions, or projects. Maybe that means writing a blog post, recording a short video, sending out an email, or sharing something on LinkedIn or another social platform. You're creating the individual pieces that help communicate the ideas and move your audience forward. And then you're distributing that content where your audience is most likely to see it and engage with it. And finally, there's the management and maintenance phase. This is the stage where many people, they just totally forget about it. They don't think about it. But content isn't always a one and done activity. Over time, some pieces of content can be reused, refreshed, repurposed, or even retired. So maybe you expand on an idea later, maybe you update something because your business evolved, maybe you revisit the content that continues to resonate with your audience, or maybe you archive something that's become obsolete. This maintenance helps your content continue working for you long after it's first published, and in some circumstances can actually help prevent incomplete, incorrect, or outdated content from actually working against you. Okay, let's look at a quick example to just help make this all gel in your minds. Now, imagine you're a small business coach, and this might not be a stretch for too many of you, but imagine you're a small business coach who helps freelancers manage their time and projects more effectively. When you zoom out to the strategy and planning part, you might notice that many of your clients struggle with staying organized and prioritizing their work. So you create a small content campaign focused on simple productivity habits for freelancers. Next, you zoom into the creation and distribution piece. And this is where you write a helpful blog post about a weekly planning routine. You share a short version of the idea in your email newsletter, and maybe you also even record a quick video explaining this routine. Now your audience is learning something useful and they're beginning to see you as someone who understands their challenges. And then later, you move into the management and maintenance part. You might revisit the idea a few months later and expand on it, or include it in a collection of your best productivity resources, or refresh it with a new insight you've learned. Now, that single idea continues to support your audience and your business over time. That entire flow from strategy to creation to ongoing use is that content through line that we talked about a few moments ago. And when your content is aligned and authentic, something really powerful can happen. Your content through line starts creating what I like to call a true line. In other words, a real and meaningful connection between you and your audience. Your content isn't just filling space anymore, it's helping people learn, understand, and trust you and solve problems and improve their lives and businesses. And the overall umbrella that holds all of this together, the content through line and the true line it creates, is your content system. When that system is working well, content becomes far less chaotic. It becomes clearer, easier to manage, and much more sustainable for your business. So if you want to start moving in this direction, the good news is you don't have to overhaul everything overnight or, really at all. You can start very simply and very small. First, take a step back and zoom out. Look at the bigger picture of your business and ask yourself what your audience truly needs help with right now, or what goals you want to work towards right now. What questions are your people asking? What problems keep coming up? What are your business priorities? Next, think about how you might organize your content around small campaigns, a promotion, or project that supports those needs and goals. And then you can zoom back in and start creating a few pieces of content that support that focus. Maybe an email or a short post or a quick video. And finally, keep track of what you create so that you can revisit and reuse helpful ideas over time. That simple shift from random content to a more intentional flow is the beginning of building your own customized and resilient content system. If you'd like a little help getting started, I've created a free resource you're welcome to grab. It includes practical tips and guidance to help you more efficiently create more effective content for your business. And you can grab that via the link below. You're also invited to stay connected through the SB Success Factor community and the YouTube channel, where I share some more ideas and tools to make business communication and content creation easier. I want to thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I'm really glad you're here, and I look forward to continuing to support you on your content journey. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.